로켓의 단점을 설명할 것이고, 두 번째 발표자는 상향이고, 상향에는 우주 여행의 단점을, 위험성을 설명할 것이고, 세 번째 발표자는 우규이고, 우규는 수중 도시에 대한 설명을 할 것이고, 네 번째 발표자 성빈이는 우주의 단점을 설명할 것입니다.
그리고 우선은 저희는 하늘이가 다른 팀에 들어갔기 때문에 제가 세 번째, 네 번째 발표자 모두 제가 하기로 했고요. 첫 번째 발표자는 서연이고, 서연이는 우선은 질문을 통해서 먼저 디베이트를 시작하고 지식에 대해서 얘기를 할 거고, 이은이는 그 압력에 대해서 바닷속에 살면은 안 좋은 점이 압력에 대해서 얘기하고, 저는 마지막으로 이제 해양 쓰레기에 관해서 얘기하고, 마지막으로 저는 이제 토론 마무리를 하도록 하겠습니다.
From now on, we will begin our discussion with the topic, it would be better to live under the sea than in space. The name of the first team is 영세조, and the name of the first team is 싹다가르조. Please shake hands with each other.
자, 도장 일어나서 서로 박수 하면서 토론 잘 진행해봅시다. 크게 박수로 하는 일이에요.
The first speaker of the first team is Gongtaemin. Please introduce the discussion topic and give reasons for approval and grounds for argument on the topic for 3 minutes.
In order for us to go into space, we have to overcome gravity first. The escape velocity must be at least 11.2 kilometers per second to escape the effects of gravity on Earth and into space. To do this, escape the effects of gravity on Earth and into space. To do this, humans developed rockets which are the speed at which they break through the speed of sound within a minute of launch. Simply put, the rocket's principle is that when a rocket engine burns fuel, it emits hot and high pressure gases. The rocket then gets thrust from that power and flies into space. In other words, when a high temperature and high pressure gas acts, the rocket gains momentum and extends upward as a reaction. For example, Saturn V's first stage rocket, which was used in Apollo 11, is the core of Saturn V, which can be sent up to 61 kilometers into Earth's orbit, and the amount of fuel it needs is huge. The reason why we need so much fuel is because it contains 770,000 liters of RP1 kerosene fuel, 11 tons of fuel tanks, and 1,305,000 liters of liquefied oxygen, so the size and weight of the rocket are quite huge. Saturn V's first stage rocket weighs 2,000 tons and 42 meters high and has a diameter of 10 meters. And you can see that it takes a lot of power and a lot of money to get out of Earth's orbit. As much as fuel is needed, the weight increases and energy consumption is also high. It is said that the weight of the first stage rocket is almost the weight of fuel. The more weight you increase, the more force you need, and ironically, you need a lot of force to get out of Earth's orbit. So when you fill it with fuel, the weight increases too much. It consumes a lot of energy. Large and heavy engines for large forces also greatly increases the weight of the rocket. For these reasons, rockets are really inefficient for their weight. Rockets inefficient beyond comparison. Even first stage rockets are more inefficient because they are used and discarded for one-time use. Thank you.
This time, the first speaker of the first team reports what the first team claimed for a topic and explain the reasons or grounds for the opposition. For 3 minutes, please.
Before my remark, I'd like to ask you a simple question. Don't be burdened about this and please answer my question. First question, what can you think about organization that study space?
I would say that it's NASA.
Great, how about that of underwater? See, people are much more interested in space than underwater world. Hello, this is Kim, the first speaker of Constant. Now I will assert our first reason of our opinion. We have much more information about space than underwater. The understory humans have explored and studied about space a lot. However, humans haven't searched and given attention to underwater compared to space. Because of this, we have a different depth of knowledge about space and underwater. According to scientists, we only know 3% of knowledge about underwater. We don't know what creatures live in underwater and what creatures may make us dangerous. So if we live underwater, we won't be able to survive since we have lack of information about underwater creatures.
Of the first team, please report what opponents have just claimed and give the examples of the first and second reason for 2 minutes.
Few direct benefits to space exploration through space technology has helped us launch satellites and introduce many useful projects, but we need to keep pushing forward. The direct intelligence gains from learning about far-away planets or satellites such as the moon can hardly compensate the cost. Historical exploration on Earth allow collect and trade resources. Bringing resources to Earth is not possible with the current technology. Space trade is hazardous. So many lives have been lost in space exhibitions. Space missions are very dangerous and can often cost lives and stress to the families of the astronauts, and astronauts should hardly cooperate. Professionals and scientists risk their lives traveling outside Earth. Failure is common. Many of the space exploration products and satellites crash. Exploration robots and lost rockets blow up in the air. It is frustrating to see how so much money and time are wasted on successful missions. One of the main goals of space exploration is find out if there be life outside the Earth. However, expedition contact with other stations can be extremely dangerous and could jeopardize human life. Even if there are benefits to space exploration, spending so many money and effort in reaching other planets is highly questionable. Them money and brain power could be used to solve other more important problems for us, and I think it's about building on undersea city.
Speaker from the cons team report what the first has just claimed and state the first and second reason for 2 minutes, please.
Hi, this is Yoon Kwan, the second speaker of cons team. I will assert our second reason. The pressure underwater is too strong for humans to endure. To live underwater and space, both surroundings require an oxygen tank, since both surroundings don't have atmosphere. In space, there's no gravity, so an oxygen tank doesn't harm human body. Also, there are some planets that contain oxygen. At this point, you might have a question, but there are planets like Jupiter. Jupiter has a great gravity. However, there are tons of planets in space, and there are also planets that aren't yet recovered. Also, a planet Kepler is called the second Earth. So there are lots of ways we can live in space. However, underwater, the lower it goes, the heavier gravity it pushes on. Under the water pushes greater pressures, so the oxygen tank may harm the body.
Speaker from the consumed liquid what the force has just cleaned and take the first and second listen for 2 minutes, please.
For more than 70% of the Earth's area, and under the sea is a safe place to avoid or minimize damage from natural disasters such as air pollution, earthquake, and tsunami without being significantly affected by climate change such as global warming. For this reason, it is mentioned as the first candidate for the future residents of mankind than the universe that has yet to find treasures of life. And many countries, including the United States, China, Japan, and Russia, are working to develop the seabed. And last December, Korea also announced the construction of an under-the-sea Ulsan Metropolitan City, announced that it will participate in the 2022 Ministry of Ocean and Fisheries industry contract with 5 institutions, universities, and organizations. The first page of the project will allow 5 to conduct 28 days of study and observations. Activities on the seabed at a depth of 50 meters, and the second page will be expanded to allow 30 people to stay under a depth of over 200 meters over 77 days.
The third speaker of Constantine. I will assert our third reason there are too much trash that is underwater. As you know well, people tend to dump trashes such as plastic bags, wooden chopsticks, snack bags, etc. According to modern journalists Guillermo Bonester and Valentina Lopez, there are approximately 269,000 tons of trash underwater, and more than 5,000 tons of trash are garbage. People say there are some robots that clean trashes underwater, but the try started at 2011 and there is still no change. This means that this machine can't take much trash out since there are too much trash underwater. These trashes are all over the underwater world, and those materials might harm our lives when we live underwater. But in space, there's no trash that may harm us, and if we live at space and other planets from now on, we can use objects which don't harm our lives. Thank you.
First, please report what the opposing team have just claimed and give a second reason. Please report the argument of the opposing team and summarize the presentation of the first team and completing the presentation for 2 minutes.
Rebuttal 1. The fact that groups studying space are more famous does not mean that they have more information about space. The underwater scientists claim they only knew 3% of what they knew underwater, so is there any ever that they know more than 3% of the universe? Number 2. I was told that the pressure in water is too strong for humans, but it's the pressure in space level that humans can withstand. If you have a device that can handle it, you can withstand the pressure underwater. So the amount that space is a better environment is incorrect. Also, there are many prisoners in space, so there are many other ways of life besides the ocean, but it takes too long to get there, and there is no time to look for alternatives. On the other hand, the ocean takes less time to reach, and respond to land. The space it takes hours or days. But and the speed of light space is far less efficient than the ocean. Pivotal 3. Many little said to harm our lives, but according to claims, we are so suffer from pollutant air and pollutant soil. Also, the universe is not clean. Space isn't clean than the ocean. It is also dangerous because of space debris and radioactivity. Thank you for listening.
The first team, please the substitution that the first has just clean and announcing the second lesson for 2 minutes. Please summarize the cons argument to finalize the cons presentation in 2 minutes.
Please, everyone, give attention to me. As you know well, the environment in Earth is going bad as the time flows. I guess that not all, but a lot of you would feel satisfied to live in a place which makes our lives stable and healthy. To live in that world, our team strongly recommends you live outer space than underwater. So in conclusion, our team disagrees with the topic. It would be better to live underwater than the sea. It is because we have much more information about space than underwater. Also, the great pressure underwater may harm our body, and a lot of trash underwater has high possibility to influence our lives in a harmful way. With these reasons, we think that we should support living in space more than underwater. So, dear judges, please think wisely and make your decisions in a right and proper way. Now, my final presentation is over. Thank you all for listening to my speech.